Okay, we're back for episode 4 of Mort on Monday. Today we're going to make flan. Flan is a Mexican dessert. It's like a custard. And our ingredients today, we have an 8-ounce block of cream cheese, softened. We got 5 large eggs. We got some sweetened condensed milk. We got a can of evaporated milk. And we're going to go with 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. The process we're going to go through here is we're going to make, and also added to this is going to be 3/4 cup of white sugar. And we're going to actually turn the sugar into the caramel. It's going to be the caramel glaze for the bottom of the pan to begin with, but as we flip it over when we're done baking this thing, the caramel is going to run over the top. And it's going to have some nice crunchy parts, yet some runny parts to it. We're going to make this in our pit boss today. So let me get started here. Let me clear my way out of here. We're going to use the induction burner today, and I'm going to go ahead and melt my sugar on the induction burner to make our caramel sauce to begin with. So let me get this cleared out of the way. Be right with you. Alright, let's go ahead and start off by dumping the sugar into our pan on the induction burner. You want to keep it moving as much as you can once it starts melting. Right now it's not that big of a deal. If you cook this too far, you'll see as it's turning brown, it gets that caramel-like look to it. You can burn it, of course. We all know we can burn sugar. If you let it go too long, it will burn. So just keep an eye on it. Probably take 4 or 5 minutes before you start seeing it starting to melt down. So give it a couple minutes. Okay, we are getting real close to 100% meltdown. Real close. Real close. We don't want to burn the sugar. So, alright, game on. Alright, guys, we have reached our point where we're going to put our caramel in our pan that we're going to be putting this into. And you want to pour the caramel into the pan. Let me do this. Just get this done real quick. It will start to harden as soon as it starts getting cool. So let's get it in the pan real quick, and I'll show you what I like to do from here. Is I'll take this and I will run it around the edge of the pan, as you can see. Okay, I can't make this. So what we're going to do is I'm running this around the edge of the pan, getting that caramel up on the edge of the pan. Kind of see what we're doing here. The pan's pretty hot right now. We got it all up on the edges a little bit. So what we're going to do from here, we're going to take our pan. Let me just set it off to the side here for a minute. Whew, she's warm. Okay. Now, what we have to do is water displacement. Now we're getting to science. So our pan is going to go into a water bath. The water bath is going to prevent this thing from cooking from the sides. Is basically what you're doing. You know how like when you cook a cake, the outside of it browns also. Being in the pan with the water surrounding the outside of it, it won't do the same. So the process, what we're going to go through is we're actually going to cook it in the pan just like this, but we're going to put water around the outside edge. You have to put boiling water. In order to put boiling water, there's only one way to do this the right way, the only way that I know how to do it, and that is to go to the sink and I'm going to fill this up with water until it gets up against the edge. I'm going to take the pan out, dump the water into a pan on the stove. We're going to boil the water while we're finishing the rest of this, getting it ready. And by the time all that's done, we'll be able to pour everything right into here, and we'll have the exact amount of water that we need to go into the pan. So let me get this over here, and we'll get some water in it and get starting on the flan itself on the inside. Alright, so we're back. We're going to go ahead and we got our cream cheese in here. We're going to go ahead and get that mixed up. It's nice and softened. We're going to go through softened cream cheese. We're going to add the eggs. I just put 5 in here. You crack them one at a time. I'm going to just put in one at a time. Make sure it's nice and mixed up. I'm going to have to. I'm going to go around the bowl here. Mix everything back up into the center. Around her once more, and then I'm going to add in my other ingredients. We got the sweetened condensed milk. Sweetened condensed milk. This stuff's pretty thick. I'm going to hit it with a spatula. Then we have this is our evaporated milk. I'm going to go with 1 teaspoon of vanilla. I have imitation vanilla. If I had regular vanilla, it would be great. You only need, by the way, if you ever use straight vanilla, not the imitation, you only need like half. But anyway, it's not what I have. So we've got 1 teaspoon. And we'll give her one last mix. We're going to get ready to pour our flan into the pan. Okay, so this is the consistency that we're looking for. It's pretty runny. And let me go ahead, and I think our water is boiling. Alright, our next thing we're going to do is we have our caramel in our pan. It's all cooled down now as we were mixing our mixture up here. We're going to take that and set that pan directly into our bowl we're going to use for our water pan. I'm going to sneak over here, and I measured out that water, and I'm going to pour the water in that bowl on the outside edge of our pan. You're going to see it's going to float a little bit, which is fine. Because I measured it, I know exactly how much I'm going to need. But we're going to take the flan mixture now. That pan is going to be sitting right in the middle. As the flan goes into there and weighs it down, it's going to create that outside edge, that nice smooth outside edge on that. So that's where we're going. Our next step that we're going to do from here is we got to take this out to the smoker, and of course this is hot. This is boiling water. So as we carry it out, we have to be very careful. I'm gonna take this out, put it in the smoker. Now it's gonna cook. I'm gonna put it in at about 300 degrees for about 45 minutes, and we're gonna go check it. And basically, when you're checking it, you're looking for any kind of a jiggle on it. You don't want the whole thing like a big giant wave, but if you bump it and you kind of see like a shock wave go through it, then you know that it's set. And then we're gonna go ahead and pull it out from there. So let me get this thing on the smoker. All right, hey, we're out here with our flan here. One of the things you want to check for is the top of this flan, and I'm gonna bump it a little bit, and you notice the top of it, it kind of wiggles a little bit, but it wiggles as one instead of shock waves through it. So I know at this point in time the flan is basically done. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this off and let it cool down. All right, so we got to our flan here. We just brought it inside, set it on a cooling rack for a few minutes. One of the processes we have to go through is you have to separate that flan. It is going to stick to the outside of the pan a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and go just around the outside edge of the flan. Just working around the outside edge of the pan all the way around. Okay, so the magic moment is right here, right now. So we're gonna take a plate here. Now our objective here is to get one flop. So I'm gonna set the pan on top. Set the pan on top. I'm gonna get my hot pads here. And we have to do this in one motion. Basically have to take this thing, flip it over, and set it down on the table here, and all the flan should release, fall to the bottom. And then we'll get you a good look here and see what she looks like. So, from underneath, got it. And here we go. I heard it.
I heard the flan.
Okay, let's see what we got. Alright, I'm gonna have to use this knife here. Not coming up just quite as easy. We'll set our pan off to the side. Cooling rack out of the way. And this is the flan. Now, these here pieces, you can actually move these out of the way. This is just the bitter edges, just the edges of the flan. Now, when you let this thing, normally when they go ahead and make this, they'll go ahead and put this in the refrigerator and let it cool down. Now, your caramel sauce around the outside edge, it's soupy. It actually won't form up. It won't set again. It's gonna sit like it is. Now, there still is in the bottom of the pan, there's some crunchy stuff in here. You could actually, if you wanted to, you can kind of scrape this, and you can still see that there's still a little bit of caramel sauce that's actually running off the edges. But I don't get too worked up about that. I have a plan for this weekend. We're actually doing this at a competition, which is going to be kind of cool because this video is going to come out after the competition, but I will post inside the video to let you know how well we did at the competition with the flan. But anyway, so here we go with the flan. Like I said, normally we would let this cool down and put it in the refrigerator overnight. And some people, whether it's warm, whether it's cold, I like it just the same either way. Tomorrow or next weekend, this coming weekend I should say, when we make this, we're actually going to do some different things. My plan is to use a foil pan when I make this in, and all of the caramel that's at the bottom is actually going to form like a candy, and when you break it, it's going to have like little shards of glass, caramel glass if you want to call it that, and we're going to actually use that to decorate the top of it, and maybe some berries or something. Anyway, stay tuned for that. Watch my Facebook page. You'll see what's going on there. So, guys, this is flan. You can serve it warm. You can serve it next day cold. So you can make it ahead of time if you want. You can apply this same thing to the oven. You know, you can cook it in the oven for 350 for 45 to 50 minutes. It does the same thing. So, hey, if you make this, let me know how it turns out. Let me know if you have any other suggestions to it. And please like this video, subscribe to my channel if you'd like. Make sure if you ring that bell, there's a little bell symbol on there. If you ring that bell, and you'll get notifications as we have new videos coming out. So we appreciate you all. Please stick around. We'll be coming up with something new hopefully every week. Let me know if there's something you want to see. Till then, we'll see you later.